Greetings to all. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker for the second session, Dr. S. Bharadwaj, who's going to talk about writing introduction to the research article. Dr. S. Bharadwaj, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, GITAM School of Science, Hyderabad, is pursuing his research in field of magnetic materials involving ferrites, ferroids, magnetites, and composites. His current research involves study of magnetic interaction in ferrites with different dopants, and when mixed with different materials, they lead to further modifications in the properties desired for specific applications. He is also looking the possibility of using the magnetic nanomaterials for extraction, purification, or separation of metals from wastewater remediation procedures. He is also looking forward to work in fuel cell application, which is futuristic trends in the materials, especially in energy storage devices. The session is now all yours, sir.
Good evening, auditor, all of you. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. Just hold on while I can share my. Okay, my name is Bharadwaj. I am from India, and basically I'm from Andhra Pradesh. There's a local state, one of the states in India. I am experimentalist. My field of research is basically ferrites, basically magnetic materials, and I do a lot of. I have published quite a bit of paper that you can watch it in the Google Scholar. My presentation will be of basically it is of writing introduction. That is the topic assigned to me. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay. So I cannot share and see the screen parallelly. Something is wrong. Okay. So what I will do is I will present about myself in one slide, and I will share my presentation, what I view, how to write introduction with respect to experimentalist point of view. Please understand that as the previous speaker, Professor Nadar, if I spelled correctly, and if she has presented in terms of your qualitative and quantitative research aspects. She has presented her research in terms of a modeling, a statistical modeling, and she tried to solve a different set of a problem. Here, when we are talking about through experimentalist eyes, you will see in a different way. Okay, say here we are mixing up two or three elements. You are preparing some compounds. You have no clue about what kind of outcome you will get it. Even though if you know you are going to prepare that, you are measuring properties, you are characterizing it, and you are designing your elements to a particular application. Say for an example, I am preparing a simple magnet. The magnet should have attractive as well as repulsive properties. Okay, so what you do is you prepare a material, you magnetize that material, and you expect that material to show some sort of a magnetism. Okay, what happens is when you test for magnetism, it should have some sort of a value. You put it into some characterizing instrument, and you will measure that. Once you get the values, you formulate your paper. You start formulating your paper. Okay, so this is while formulating paper, introduction also becomes a very important topic. Okay, so first I will, as I told you, this is me, Bharadwaj. I am working in Geetham University in Hyderabad. I have published some 35 papers or 36 papers. Why research paper matters to me is it gives me insight of a critical thinking. It gives me some sorts of evaluation and your composition, your organization structure. Basically, it will tell you how to design a material uh, uh, when I'm thinking about some particular applications. So I will be looking into facts and figures. I will be taking references from books. I will be reading some articles. I will be discussing with my syllabus and all those things. So all these things comes into your research paper. It should be a documented record of your inventory or a discovery or the uh, of your work. Okay, I'm sure you're seeing the screen. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So now in the previous author, she has spoken much about the types of research paper. Let me put it in a very simple way. The type of research papers basically divides. It is characterized into two different parts. Your analytical research, your augmentative research, you defined research, your compare and contrast research, your cause and effects, your interpretative cause and effects comes basically in the linguistics part. We are talking about your English audience, we are talking about your social subject, sociology, your other things. Your analytical research comes also comes with respect to history, your geography, and all those things. Experimental research and survey research comes under your experimentalist or your medical field, or even the interpretive comes under your experimentalist or your medical field, or other categories which I'm missing. Pardon me if I'm missing some categories. Okay. So again, I will define research papers based on the case studies, your methodology which I use it, your opinion articles. Now, why I included opinion article is I will formulate 4 or 5 opinion articles and say that, okay, if based on the opinion of these 4 or 5 articles, it can be said that so the outcome of anything will be based on these 4 or 5 articles. Okay, so anyone can write research articles in my view, in my point of view. Any student with or without PhD degree can write. Okay, so they can come into this particular category. Your opinion articles, your original research, it is a time-taking research. It's a time-taking factor. It has to be done under strict supervision, because sometimes we may go in a sideways, and we may take too long to complete our research. We may require some external help to tell us whether we are doing correct research or not. Here we are talking about your review articles and all the short reports and all those things. You may be thinking why I have included this particular slide. Among them, one thing is common, is introduction. Okay, so when you are talking about your analytical or augmentative or definition or all, whatever the thing which you take, one thing is common, is you have to write an improper introduction. Now, why we are saying is proper introduction is, when I review some papers, I am also a reviewer to different journals in our scientific background. When I look at some introductions, there is a disconnect between first paragraph and the second paragraph and the third paragraph. Okay, so I will tell you what it is. Any doubts in this slide? If anyone wants to ask. I'm a different set of speakers, so I'll be if anyone is free to ask any set of a question, they can ask now only. Okay, so I'm assuming that no one has it. So let me slightly go ahead. while publishing, you should keep something in your mind. These are the few points. I'm keeping the points very simple. I'm not taking any examples, but I'm keeping it the points very, very simple. You have to be rigorous in your approach. Now, what do you mean by rigorous in your approach? You should know your facts and basically you should know your subject. While writing any paper, first of all, you should know ABC of your subject. Say if you're writing in physics, you should know about your concepts, you should know about your formulas, you should know the outcome of those formulas. Okay. Not only outcomes, you should know how things can proceed from one point to another point. What are the derivative effects? Say, for an example, if water is flowing, if the water is flowing naturally, the flow of water represents your either potential energy or kinetic energy. That's how it is. Okay, so based on the kinetic energy, you are using the flow of water, you are creating a hydrothermal power stations and all those things. Okay, I'm just taking a simple example so that you know it. Now, another example you can think of is you are cooking rice in your home. So when you are keeping a cooker in your house, you are generally your mother will teach you that, okay, I am keeping a cooker, I should pour some water, and when I close the lid, we are switching on the gas, and suddenly after 3 minutes you are switching off, you are keeping it to swim. Here people should understand that we are talking about the energy exchange, you are talking about the temperature rise, the concept of statistical mechanics, the concept of thermodynamics. While writing introduction, you should keep different aspects, you should look into multi-dimensional approach. So that is what I'm meaning called rigorous. Okay, and the concept of the word called clear comes into picture, that here when we are talking about again the cooker rice combination example, the water is converted into water vapor. You know it as a fact that water is converted into water vapor, and the water vapor is driving the energy into the grains of the rice, and it is actually causing some it is cooking the rice within through the concept of diffusion. So your ideas is very, very clear. The concept is very clear to you while writing the introduction. There should not be any ambiguity while writing your introduction. The third point is very, very simple. Very, very simple. The words look very, very simple, but trust me on this. While writing an introduction, these words are not to be taken lightly. Okay. The word called concise will tell you that you have to write introduction in such a way that it is not boring your audience. Now, as a reviewer, sometimes I see many articles which are disconnected from one paragraph to another paragraph. They will start off with something else, they will end up with something else, and in between they will cook up some sort of stories. We generally outright reject these kind of articles. Remember, a reviewer is also a critic to your work. If he's accepting, that means he is not advocating your research. But if he's rejecting your work, that means he's not your enemy. Okay. The fourth point, your validity. Now, the validity the concept of valid comes into picture, whether your theories are correct in nature or not. You cannot propose any theory simply out of the blue. Okay. say for an example, again, I'm taking the concept of cooking of rice or cooking of any object in your kitchen. You cannot bring the concept of electricity and magnetism in the thermodynamics. Okay, it is not valid at all. The concept should be connected to the topic. The laws should be connected to the topic, and the laws should be verifiable with respect to the topic. Okay. The fifth one is use your sequential. The sequential comes, let me put it through this particular example. Again, I will come back to that cooking of rice example. When you are cooking the rice, you are putting cooker on the gas stove, you are heating it. Heating takes time. Nearly, it will take nearly 4 to 5 minutes or something like that. I'm just taking an arbitrary value. After 5 minutes, you will hear some first whistle, second whistle, third whistle. Your mom says, please switch it off, or your wife says, please switch it off, or you will direct your other persons. It is happening in a sequence. After 3 whistles, you will put it into swim. You will allow the cooker to come into a steady state sequence, a steady state value. Afterwards, you will switch it off and you will allow another 10 minutes to cool it down. You are doing in a sequence-wise manner. You are formulating your research in a sequence-wise manner. Okay. Your end goal is to eat rice, but for that you need to cook. You need to wash. Washing of rice is the first comes into picture. Next, you're putting into cooker with water. You are pouring water into it. You are closing the lid. You are putting up the pressure wall, and you are allowing it to heat to a particular temperature. You are maintaining the steps in a sequential order. You cannot directly put it into high flame. You cannot put it into some other modes of cooking. But what I mean to say is you are following a definite pattern. In research also, you have to do the same thing. You have to follow the sequence, and the sequence should be properly documented. Okay. The documentation should be, why it is proper is, sometimes we observe that people have a tendency to say that they are documented it, but when we see the graphs, we pick up the abnormality very, very fast, because we have been seeing, say, if I am seeing a lot of magnetic data, when I see the combination of materials, automatically I'll say that this fellow has cooked up the data. Okay, so your sequence should be documented properly. It should be verifiable, and it should be reproducible. Okay, so that this reproducible comes with a reparable thing. Okay, so you have to re-verify your data. Your data should be free of errors. It should be comprehensive in nature. What do you mean by comprehensive in nature? That means it should have starting point and it should have ending point. Sometimes we see the data in terms of there is a discontinuity with respect to starting point and ending point. There is no starting point in that. Suddenly the graph is coming from somewhere and suddenly it stops somewhere. So you have to keep all these things into your mind. Okay. So basically, let me put it, what is the importance of introduction through this particular slide. So you already know it that in a research paper, you have a manuscript title, basically a good article which connects to your topic with proper affiliation and proper your email or your contact, this thing. It will have abstract. Again, it's a summary of your work. Basically, again, it will have a keywords as well as your category. Now, then comes your introduction, then comes your experimental setup, and these results and discussions, and to your inference or your future scope of your work, and then followed by your references. Now, this is a common structure of your any research paper, whether you put it into your English thing or whether you put it into your experimental point of view. Okay. Now, while choosing a topic, again, as I told you, while choosing a topic, you should understand the concept. Wherever you are, you should understand your concept. You have to build outlines of those concepts. You should have your own perspective on of that particular concept. You have to read wide variety of the variety of those articles. Maybe with international standard, you have to read a lot. You have to start thinking out of the box. If not, if it is like this, why it is not like that? Okay. So you have to build your own outlines, make your own notes, create your own perspective. The importance of bibliography also comes into picture, and you have to cite properly. Please don't self-cite your own work. Self-citation it should be less than 10% or maybe 1 or 2 papers of your own work. That is the standard rule, which I heard from several international eminent authors. And make your own notes, create your own novelty. People will say that how my work will be novel. You have to read a lot. You have to read different topics. When you are reading, automatically the highlighting a novelty of your work comes into picture. You can compare and contrast your work with several other published work. Already they have given brief outlines of their work. They have given brief limitation of their work. So if your work crosses their limitation, and if you are, that becomes your novelty. Okay. So while creating a novelty, automatically you will create your mind map, and then you start connecting your dots, and then you will start writing your first break. Okay. And always find a critic while drafting your. So what I will prefer is to all the audience who is a scholars by themselves, or if they have already published, I will always start with results and discussion. These results and discussion will help me to frame up the introduction. I'm talking with respect to experimentalist. Okay, in experimentalist, we characterize materials, we take properties, we understand the properties, and once we complete the drafting of results and discussion, and then only I will puncture into your introduction. Okay. So what happens is this concept of building basic outlines will be addressed. While if you start with results and discussion, so what happens is you will build your own outlines, you build your own bibliography, your perspective, and then you start generating your novelty. This is the key thing while writing a research paper. So people always start with introduction. Please don't do that. After a great experience, my guide simply said that please start with the introduction. But after publishing several papers, I suddenly realized that it is not the introduction, it is the results and discussions which comes into handy while building your dots. Okay, so always complete the results and discussion, and then start reading it, improvise it, perfect it, and once you do that, automatically your introduction will be in your mind as your mind map. Okay. So while motivating a reader, so remember, introduction is the key factor in motivating your reader or any reviewer. I'm talking with respect to reviewers' point of view. It should have clarity. It should be very simple. Remember, reviewer or your readers are spending their valuable time on it. So it should be very simple. It should be accurate. While writing introduction, again, I'm emphasizing that there should be some rationale behind your research. So that comes up that comes into picture when you complete your introduction and once you complete your results and discussion. Now, once you complete your results and discussion, automatically the motivation will be come into picture. It will be automatically there in your mind. Okay, and once you complete your results and discussion, automatically your literature survey will be there. You know who has done what are their limitations, and you will write that same thing in that introduction. So as say XYZ has undergone a series of studies in ABC compound, and he has found resistivity which is limited to so and so value. This is how you will write it in your results and discussion. My values of resistivity is higher than the so and so. Okay, so when you're writing in results and discussion that your values are far superior than any other known compound, automatically the research survey will come into picture, and automatically your research gap will be fulfilled, and finally it will lead to your final objective, that is writing a good introduction. Okay, so finally this will be my last slide. I will not extend time. You should keep one thing in your mind. What is the purpose of writing your introduction? Again, I'm emphasizing, finish your results and discussion, finish your conclusion, and then please come back to your introduction. How do I structure it? I will structure it in 3 different parts. First, I will introduce the material. I will write the importance of the material with respect to different application. I will write the limitations and its limitation with respect to different aspects. I will think what content it should be included, what I should not include. Please understand that while you cannot emphasize too much on one particular topic. Okay, and when I draft introduction, I should also think what are do's and don'ts. Remember, your readers interests, you should keep it in mind. You should think as a reviewer while writing any research paper. You should also think that you are yourself or a reviewer. Can I write this? Cite thoroughly, because that gives your validation to your research, but don't avoid please avoid too many citations in one paper. I remember I was a reviewer. I have seen 120 citations. The paper itself is around 15 pages, and the citations is around something like 10 pages. That is unacceptable. Remember that you cannot cite too many papers. You have to cite best papers among it, and that should be inserted into your introduction. Keep it short, keep it precise, show your research, but do not tell them actually. So this is a key word. I try to follow this. These are my 10 commandments. You can call this as a 10 commandments, but I keep all these points into my mind while writing research. Never take readers for granted. You cannot think that they will take whatever you write. And you should also keep your journal requirements, because the different journals have a different requirements. Okay, so finally this is the 6 outline points which I'm trying to tell you. Please introduce your research, describe your background, establish your research problem, specify your objective, map out your paper. All these things has to go into introduction. Whenever you write introduction, keep all these 5 points, first 5 points into consideration. Now you may be thinking, this 6th point, what is this ethics? One of the common problem which people do is they try to copy introduction from different papers. Please don't do that. Reviewers are very quick to pick up those things into this thing. Okay, you can let me just give an example. This is one of the papers which I have published with the impact factor 4. You can see here, I'm just taking an example for the audience. You can see here, I have used a ferrite material. If anyone is there in the physics, they will understand the ferrite is a magnetic material also. So here in the first paragraph, I have explained what is ferrites, why ferrites are important, what are the applications with respect to ferrites. It can be used in microwave devices, it can be used as absorbers, it can be used as multi-layer chip inductors or hyperthermal treatment. It has some formula. What is that formula? What is the distribution of what is the compositional formula of that particular ferrite which I am using? What is its structure? And you can see here, when I'm referring to structure, I am already citing it. So the citation becomes very, very important. Okay. So whenever I'm writing about an application, I'm also citing it. So the citing becomes citing is validate, is like a validating your point. So all these things you will write it in your introduction. So again, I'm taking a subtopic in the ferrites. There are different ferrites. So I'm using one system called nickel zinc ferrites. Here you can see I'm talking about the internal part of the nickel zinc system. Why it is so important? What are the properties it is having? As a particle size is it's a size factor. Okay, crystallized size, your permeability, all these are properties to it. Okay. Am I exceeding? Okay, no. I'll take 2 more minutes. I know that I have exceeding my time. My time is up to 7:45. So I'll take few more minutes. So here you can see here I am explaining the interstitial parts of the ferrites. I'm also citing who has done what in nickel ferrites or nickel zinc ferrites. You can see Van Utrecht has observed significant increase in electrical resistivity. I am citing it properly that guy, Mr. So-and-so, has worked in nickel zinc ferrite, and he has worked on resistivity factor. So, similarly, another author is worked on saturation magnetization. That is one of the properties. So you have to properly cite your work, and you should tell why why the topic which you have chosen is important, who else has worked on it. Okay, so this is how you write your introduction. And finally, you can see here what is my main objective. The main objective is to study the vacancy concentration or site occupancy or something like that. So I'm reserving one paragraph for my main objective. I am reserving 2 or 3 paragraphs for my topic which I have chosen, and I'm introducing one paragraph to introduce my topic. Okay, so basically you can have your own methodology, you can choose your own way of writing papers. Okay, but the overall 30% of your introduction will go to your introduction to your topic, 30% or 35% will go to your present topic, and another 35% or 30% goes to your objective of your present work. Okay, so I'll just stop it here. I think it is already 8 o'clock on my watch. I'll just stop my sharing. Okay. I'd like to take any queries or question and answers if you have any. Any experimentalist here? Since I teach to MSc, BSc, everyone, I thought, okay, let me put it like this instead of talking in a different way, because I observe a lot of students, they paraphrase it, they copy from different sites, and that becomes a plagiarism issue. So this is a common problem for all the teachers. Even I'm sure many teachers are here. So I thought, okay, when that organizers came up with this topic, I thought, okay, let me put the points like this, so they understand what we are talking about. I understand there are some scholars here. They are free to ask questions. Okay, the silence is same across all the
Yeah.
board, whether you are here or in class. Okay, someone is talking.
I want to ask a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Ibrahim from Ghana. I'm a medical practitioner. I'm yet to do my master's in Europe, and yes, I have really enjoyed your presentation. I have also learned something new today from you, that we should tackle our results and discussion before we even start writing our research paper or article.
Yeah. It will trust me on this, Ibrahim. I have also learned it after 5 to 6 years of my research. So initially, my professors also did not tell me this trick. They said, you plot the graph, you write the graphs, and after great experience, and I learned this trick. Write your results and discussion, complete it, and then get back to introduction.
Okay, so my question is,
Okay.
yeah, my question is, with your experience of research and starting from the result and discussion, I know that first impression is everything. You said in your presentation that the introduction means a lot, and it is going to attract the reader to be interested in your research work. So now, if you start with the result and discussion, I want to find out what the two of them, the introduction and the discussion and the result, what is the similarity, what is in tandem with them, that you have to do that first before that?
I could not understand your question. You were saying that introduction. Can you repeat again once?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that you said that the introduction is the first impression, that it is going to, yes. Okay, you should have a very good introduction. Then the introduction is going to make the person or the reader interested in your research work.
Correct.
That is what I reminisce you said.
Correct. That is absolutely correct.
Good. So I want to find out that what is in tandem with the result and the discussion, that you have to do that one first before the introduction. Because in the research, I know that you have to start from chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, or if it's a research paper, the manuscript title, the introduction, then you come to the research methods and everything, and your data collection, everything before you get there. So jumping from there to the result and the discussion.
Okay, I understood your question. You mean to say that results and discussion, okay, why? Okay, let me put it like this. Now, why that introduction is very, very important, and why you should write last. That maybe I will paraphrase your question like that. Okay. Now, what happens is when you take a topic. Okay, say for an example, Professor Nada has taken the concept of blockchain and its effects on security. The security has a very subtopics also. You cannot go into different subtopics. You cannot address too many topics in your introduction. Now, what happens is when you start writing results and discussion, you are focusing on 2 or 3 topics. That's it. Okay, they are validating your theories. They are validating your work, and your introduction will be focused on only those 2 or 3 topics. Okay, you will be addressing those key points only. But if you fail to do that, if you start writing introduction first, what will happen is you will try to include too many topics into that introduction. That becomes your introduction little bit vague. It will be, I don't know how to complete it, but you will be including too many topics into this. That is not good. You will lose your focus. So always complete your formulate and complete your results and discussion, then get back to your introduction. That will help you out.
Okay, so can I come in here?
Yeah, please.
Yes, okay. So from your submission, I can get it clearly that doing the results and the discussion first gives you a defined boundary. It
Correct.
gives you a defined research work so that you don't go overboard or even leads you into being a bias in your research work. So that is exactly what I'm getting from you.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
I want to only say that the Dr. Bharadwaj presentation and speech was really great, very useful, very concise, precise, and I really like it. And congratulations.
Thank you, madam. Actually, I learned it from I was listening to your lecture. I was
We have
quite
a
impressed.
different.
Especially that onion research, I liked it very much.
Thank you.
And, it gives a different perspective when you listen to different. I'm experimentalist, and I
Yes.
understand your theory. You're also experimental of a different kind with laptops and computers, but I play with materials, so you play with laptop. But when you listen to different lectures, you will get a different perspective.
Yes.
It opens up a lot of avenues. I really enjoyed your work of presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from any audience? One thing is one experimental fact I proved is the classes remain same whether it is online or offline. After the lecture, there will be no questions at all.
Yeah, Doc, I have one question.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Could you share your email address with participants so that we can do follow up with you?
Yeah. Okay. I'll
Thank
put
you.
it. Okay. Yeah. I think chart is not available. I can share it. No problem.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you said while writing introduction, you need to show them, but not to tell them. Actually, I got confused with that statement.
Okay.
Could you explain?
I'll put up the concept of Professor Nada, which she has tell. You can tell the kind of security thing which you are providing, but you cannot give your source code. You cannot give your source codes. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
With respect to experimentalist, I can tell how the material is prepared, but exact composition or exact behavior aspects or exact topic concept, the idea behind the formulation of that composition will be hidden. It is always hidden. No matter what you read and how good the paper is, how many number of citation it gets it, but the main idea is always hidden. That is a continuity for all the researchers. They will never tell you the exact idea behind that formulating that particular paper. You cannot share your source codes.
Okay, so you are telling that we need to we don't have to be open-minded, or right?
It is not open-minded, ma'am. See, you understand that there are a lot of intellectual thefts which are happening across the globe. So when you share something, you should be prepared to lose it forever. Okay. Say for an example, are you doing research?
Yes, sir. I am. My area of research is ELT, English Language Teaching.
Okay, that is linguistics. Basically, I understand. Okay.
Yes, sir. Right.
So, say for an example, you must be an efficient teacher. You will not teach your methodology to other teachers. You will not share how you assess students. Well, your students, you must be liking your class more than the other teachers, and that the other teachers may be asking what is the secret recipe which you are doing. You may not be sharing that. You said you are continuing the same textbook, or you are referring to the same textbook which they are doing it, but actual textbook reference it will stay at home only. I hope you understood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it. Thank you, sir.